Welcome to The Downside. My name is Gianmarco Soresi. My co-host, Russell Daniels.
He's dead.
Is dead.
Dead.
Obesity is a real problem in America.
Jesus fucking Christ.
No, I should know. I can say that.
I hope you're watching this on YouTube as opposed to just listening.
She's not saying any. He was killed by a fat guy.
Yeah, he was killed by a really, really, really fat guy, much fatter than Russell.
Russell is you've seen it online. He's understudying Josh Gad's role in Gutenberg the musical.
Oh my God,
on
that's
Broadway.
insane. I saw an ad for that for the first time this morning.
We're gonna kill Josh.
We're gonna kill Josh.
Yes,
This
yes.
is the podcast
Yes.
where we find out our plan to kill. Well, we discover, we
Yes.
plan it, we figure out how we're gonna do it. Personally, I think a gun is a good idea.
Sure, there's a lot of things to trace with that. I feel like
I'm
this?
good with going to jail. I'm
Really?
going through a divorce. I've had a rough
You're fine
year.
with that? You're okay with that? You
I
go
mean-
to jail?
No, I guess we have so
it would be
many
fitting. You
episodes
go
of-
you go to the courthouse for the crime, and then you're like, hey, you want to do the divorce proceedings too while you're here?
Hey, hey.
So my co-host today,
I would just plead obese. Is what
allowed
I
to
would
do that?
do, you know?
Your Honor, I can't even make it
Kills
to the
and
bench.
pleading
Please.
obese, yeah.
My co-host today, then, you've listened to her episode of The Downside. Please welcome Grace Freud,
Hello, everybody.
member of Girl God, writer
I
for.
gotta get in the pose that Russell does all the time.
That's Russell's pose.
Well, when I see little clips.
Sometimes I worry about this couch. I think it's too comfortable because sometimes when he's not like into it, when
Yes,
the guest is
yeah.
a little slow, he's just like this. Well,
No,
that's
that's good podcasting. I think that's good. It's good to not give a shit.
Yeah.
It's good to not give. People like slop.
Yeah, fans want
Sure.
the slop.
They like when you phone it
Yum,
in.
yum, yum.
well, that's the thing. You become a fan of a podcast. Like I'm a Jeselnik podcast fan,
Yeah.
so I will listen to him be lazy.
Right.
I'll listen to him just be like, so.
Right.
Apathy to you is a
Right.
spice almost.
Yeah, well, it feels like a friendship.
Yeah.
It's, wow,
Right.
they give such little shit about me. They must really.
They're so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's real.
Yes, yes.
You
And
know?
our guest today, the other member of Girl God.
I thought I was guest co-host.
No,
Oh,
the-
forgive me. I said the other guest. You're right. The only guest today. The only thing different about today's episode
Yes.
is our guest, April Clark. Welcome to
It's-
The Downside.
Thank you. It's huge for Grace to be the co-host. I
This
cannot
is big
state
for me.
how excited she
Because
is to be the
April on our
co-host.
podcast does not let me be the co-host. I'm listed in the credits of every episode as
As-
primary guest
Yes.
Oh.
or secondary guest if
Well,
we have another guest.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's complicated. It's complicated. Doing a podcast is hard. You know, there's a lot of moving parts, and I
Yes.
can't always be in control of who gets credited in what way. I'm talking to my people. You know, you said you didn't want to be listed as the dog, so that didn't happen. So
And it's a union thing.
this
you know?
is just what it is.
I didn't know this, but there's dozens of different there's podcast hosting union, podcast guesting union, podcast bad guests union.
Can you imagine a podcaster strike? How weak that union would be.
Honey, they don't do any work as is. Just playing around, folks.
You know, as a podcaster and as a believer in labor, all I have to say is I think you're right. I think you're correct.
This is The Downside.
2, 3.
You're listening to The Downside
The Downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.
Just because I'm co-host this
Oh, I thought
time,
that was going to be the rest
Oh
of
my
the
God.
hour.
No, please, what? Oh, just that song?
Yeah.
Sure. That would make this podcast so much easier.
Oh.
Once I got into the music, I could just let it go.
because I'm trans and I'm co-host, could we maybe do a new rendition of that that's like more hyper pop feeling? Like,
Sure, I got the second button right here.
Okay, great. Yeah.
What kind of music? Is that a trance music thing, like poppy?
So, Gianmarco,
Grace has just opened a can of worms.
Yeah,
that
I think that
She
like,
should have known
honestly,
better.
Now I'm imagining a
should have known
world
better.
where you get really into hyper pop, Gianmarco, and I think it ends with you losing everything you love.
Is it anime-esque? Because like I grew up on anime, and I feel like that feels like like.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and
Be
say
careful.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it can be. It
Yeah.
can be anime-esque. It can be reminiscent of some anime soundtracks like
Sure.
Cooley Cooley or
Well, I'd love it.
Fully
I'd love it.
Cooley?
I'll ask my co-host. I mean,
What
my
did you watch
music
growing
maker.
up, anime-wise?
Oh, I was a big. Here's the problem. Can I just say, like my fan base,
Tell me whatever
fan
problem you
base
have.
is like can be like theater kid, Jewish.
You got a lot of kids.
And that's
really
like a child of
that's-
divorce, but
It's
no
cool that
one.
the Jews are allowed to do theater now.
True, yes, we just used to be able to produce it, but I have no fans that like anime the way that I did growing up. So when I talk
Oh,
about
okay.
anime or wrestling, I can feel them go, "What the fuck?" So to answer your question, I was a Dragon Ball kid, but like before it was like I got bootlegs from Japan, and I would watch it in Japanese, and I would count down how many times they
Okay.
cursed because it was so much dirtier than American. They showed titties,
Yes.
and I remember like
the
being a
original
kid, and I would
Dragon Ball is an incredibly horny show.
I mean, there's all the stuff with Bulma where Master Rishi, I think his name is, he just tries to look at her pussy. And then
Yep.
when he does, his nose shoots out with blood. And that's what I
Uh-huh.
thought sex was as a child.
That doesn't happen to you?
It's just a little dribble. You know, when you get older, it doesn't shoot out anymore. It's just a little dribble.
oh.
That's what they exaggerated, was that he
I
still had that
see.
shooting
I
power at
see.
that age.
And part of the reason that Goku's so good at martial arts, they seem to joke about, is he doesn't want to fuck. Like, he's not interested in fucking.
Like they say about
Yeah.
Chi-Chi, his wife Chi-Chi, they go, "You've never kissed Chi-Chi?" And he's like, "No." And so I think Chi-Chi's in the closet, or she's just undercover.
Oh, it's like a
Or
beard
in Bulma.
situation.
I mean,
Well,
Bulma's
he's
stunning.
very obviously.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Have you ever
See if you
seen
can
even
partic-
a
how long
link
you
of
can
Dragon
participate.
Ball Z or Dragon Ball?
No, never in my life.
How long can you
Well,
participate in
you-
a dragon? It's like when someone talks to me about baseball and I have to pretend to participate. See if you can
No.
participate.
I'm trying. Yeah.
think-
I think I got it.
Well, I guess, I'm sorry. We were going to have a fun extra day in New York, but we're going to spend
What
the next
about
couple
what
hours.
about Hoku and his fucking
Hey!
What about that?
Hoku's Got Bitches.
There we
That's
go.
a TV show. I wish we weren't on strike right now.
So before we talk about you, April, another thing I like doing this podcast is obviously to have
Sure.
Tova's clients on and then have them learn more about their manager than any client
Oh,
should.
please.
That's good.
So last night, we did a little edible. That's our night out.
Oh, wow.
And we were running out.
Okay.
And so she said,
Okay.
"Here's this edible. It says 10. Let's
Uh-huh.
break it in half, 5 each."
Okay.
And we ended up being very high. And this morning she was like, "Oh, I misread the bag. I think we each had like 40 milligrams."
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
no.
And then, so that's fine.
Oh.
That's fine. It was a good night, but
Sure, yeah, but
she's working on her sleep hygiene because she has night terrors. I
Mm.
said, "We really need to talk about sleep hygiene." So she did the research.
what do you
And-
do that makes her so scared?
Yeah. How do you
I
talk
stand
to
over the
her?
bed. I say, "Fall asleep. Fall asleep.
Okay.
Had enough."
Maybe if you showed her some goddamn respect, she wouldn't have these night terrors.
So at midnight, she's put the phone
Great
away, which
show.
is new.
Yeah.
She's put the phone away. We're very
Okay.
high. She's put the phone away. She's reading a book, and she says, "Oh, so one of the things with sleep studies is like to try to have no anxiety or high anxiety questions right before you go to bed,
Okay.
which is something we both do."
Uh-huh.
And I'm now stoned off my mind.
Sure.
So the reason this comes up, I say to her, "Do you think I have dementia?" And she goes,
Oh, wow.
"Actually, fun thing,
You
my
asked me
sleep
that
study."
10 minutes ago, Gianmarco.
And exactly. But she tells me this after midnight when I'm stoned out of my mind. It says, "Oh, a new rule, you can't ask that question now." And I go,
okay.
Well, it's a pretty vital question to this moment because if I do, I should do something about it right now." And she says, no questions. No questions like that. And I go, "Okay, but do you hate me?" And she goes, "We can't do any." So now I have no answers. I'm high off my mind,
Wow.
and she's going to sleep peacefully. And I think that if that's a new rule in a relationship, I need a runway.
Sure.
I need a runway.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
Only medical questions tonight, and then
Right.
tomorrow,
Right.
less brain, only heart.
Right.
Maybe we can use our position as clients of Tova to ask those questions. We can be like, "Hey, just professionally speaking, do you hate Gianmarco?"
Yeah.
Like,
It's not
You
an
have to tell me I'm your
emotional
client.
question.
It's your fiduciary responsibility.
dementia, yeah.
Right. As a manager, how do you feel?
As a manager, do you think Gianmarco is kind of like a gay little sissy boy? Like, what do you think, Tova?
And just to be clear, Grace isn't saying that Grace thinks that.
No,
Grace
I'm
is just-
saying things that I could ostensibly
Right.
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 Do you? in terms of Tova's availability, because I think it's just a tough job being a
Yes.
manager because
Of course.
different clients. I think because I date Tova, I think I'm an okay client. I'm still neurotic and needy, but because I've been so close to
Yeah.
like what it is of
Yeah.
Saturday night, you're at a celebratory wedding and a client, there's no fruit in the green room. Like I know what it's
Yeah.
like to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's so hard, especially because when you're on tour on the weekends, you're like, well, I know it's Saturday, but that's when the job is.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
job.
when the job is.
I'm at work too right now.
It is. I have a lot of empathy for Tova because one, I think she's the best manager ever,
Yes.
and two, I think we're pretty reasonable. Like we don't make like we would never be mad about like something in the green room or whatever at a weird time, but like I just don't have like professional brain like some people do. So like when I send an email sometimes I'll think it's like not rude or whatever, but then Tova will call me and be like, you can't send that email.
Sure.
And so it's like I'm not trying to be a nuisance but so I do get, because it's like Tova knows everything like so inside and out, and sometimes I just like it's like there's a core part of my essence and being that's like Tommy Boy-esque, and I just can't get out of that. So I do really appreciate her dealing.
I think one of the reasons she's so good at that, though, is because she came from the Chabad community. She's like knows existing within such a strict framework of rules and then leaving that, but understanding like what those customs are, that I feel like she has a deep understanding of like she can understand what the customs and the rules and the levels and the who you have to kiss the ring of in this moment and when you're in a place where you don't have to. Now, in the terms of the two of you,
Right.
who's more business minded? Are you more business minded?
I would say I'm better at eating shit and keeping my head down, or
Pain sponge.
turning the other cheek, not saying anything.
Yes,
You know?
I think
But is that also sometimes I think when I was younger,
Yeah.
because for listeners, you're 14,
Yes.
and
Almost.
being younger, as you get older, there's moments where you go, you know
Right.
what?
14's gonna be a
I'm
good
not
year.
gonna put up
Right.
with that. I'm gonna
Right.
die one day,
Right.
and I'm gonna be a little
Right.
shitty right now.
Right. No, I'm learning and growing every day, you know, and I admire very much Grace's ability to often be so forward with her feelings and emotions. I have a more difficult time sharing what I'm feeling when I'm angry or whatever. I don't know. I
But
think
I
there's a lot to
admire
be
that,
said for
April,
keeping
I
your
admire
cards close to your chest.
I admire that a lot because I think that like you've always got like the big game in front of you, and if I talk through something with you, you really know you are empathetic to what I'm feeling, but also see what we're trying to do big picture wise. And I think I have a real problem with something when it's to me
Right.
it's unfair.
Right.
But that is like kind of childish or like it's like
Sure.
I have a really hard time when something is so like blatantly like to me like a not fair thing, and it's not about like being like, oh, we need this at the or it's like, hey man, you're the promoter, promote it, you know,
Sure,
like
sure.
and something that I really get frustrated about, which is I think like a hard concept to understand if you're not in my very particular set of shoes, is I really hate when people are like, oh, we're so happy to work with queer artists or whatever and promote queer whatever comedy or whatever, which to me is like, I don't need someone to say that
Yeah.
to me. Like, but if they're going to say that and feel good about themselves about that,
sure.
then put in a little effort, you know? Don't just
Sure.
like Tova and our other manager Aubrey really rock, and really they don't talk like that, and by that I mean bullshitty, but they really walk the walk and they do so much for us. And it really sucks when you're working with someone professionally and you can't even send, like, because the expectation is to not send an email being like, hey, you said that you wanted to promote trans artists or whatever, and you can't even get the venue to post about the
Sure,
show,
sure.
you know? And that's the expectation, and I get that's the expectation. But in my head, I'm like, I can't just say this. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta just let it be, otherwise I'm viewed as a problem.
I don't know. I think with I feel so beaten down at this moment in my
Really?
life that I mean with this kind of
So
no with
it's always hard when you're a younger person. I'm like, you're killing it.
no. I mean with this thing in particular, I think I rather than be let down when people don't do what they're. I think at a baseline, I just assume everyone's,
Yes.
not saying anything meaningful or not saying the truth.
I think
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone's full of shit all the time.
But touring,
That's
I think
good to
touring, because you
assume.
guys have been touring intensely.
Yes.
And like I say, I feel like I know more about just the way the world works from touring. Like
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm at a comedy club, sometimes it just means they have a box for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And everything else is on
Right.
my fucking shoulders.
Yeah.
And just a degree of like, if I go to Kansas City and sales are low, sometimes they can help, and sometimes it's like,
Right.
well, I got to figure it out, or I'm
Yeah.
flying for 6 people, and that's just what it is.
And if they help, I feel like I am positively surprised rather than let down when they don't help.
And I
is
think
where
that's
I'm
a good. I
living.
think that's a really good perspective to have.
Well, no,
on
it just means I don't have any standards for myself. I don't have.
it. Well, to me, it's
I
almost
don't know.
less like
Jesus Christ.
a standard that I have about the profession, and more like, why did you say you wanted to do this and this and that in a meeting,
Mm.
and then just not do it? You know, like it's like.
We're trying to explain to Grace the concept of lying.
Yeah, I guess so.
She
I
can't.
guess so.
She can't quite wrap her head around that.
I'm just really trying to grok.
You're like from that
what-
Ricky Gervais movie where no one knows how to lie, and somehow it's
Yes.
the reverse of that movie.
Just
One
me.
person
Yes.
who doesn't understand the concept of
Yes.
lying
Exactly.
in the real world.
Exactly.
Well, let me just say for those, because I'm sure we have some new listeners just for our guest today, this is the downside. This is a place where, as you can see, people can feel safe to complain, bitch, kvetch, and we can be honest about the way we're actually feeling. If you're a fan, join the Patreon, patreon.com/downside for bonus episodes, live episodes, my comedy special, The Rats Are in Me, and just to support the podcast, patreon.com/downside. And on September 11th, we're doing a live episode. It could be the worst thing to ever happen in New York City. On September 11th, it is with Ari Hershkowitz, who you may know them from the documentary One of Us about leaving the Hasidic community in New York. So take a link to that. September 11th. At Sesh Comedy Club, Ari Hershkowitz. It's going to be a good time. And just to really, I really should say for a full intro for you, April, a comedian, member of Girl God, writer on many TV shows,
Not me.
wonderful Twitter presence, and
Funniest woman alive.
if you recall from Grace's episode, a co-author along with Grace of the last 2 Dave Chappelle specials.
yes.
That's true.
Yes.
And
What an honor
we've
to have
actually
you.
got 6 in the bank. We're pretty
Yeah.
proud. We've been working our asses off up to the strike to get all those specials written. So
I
right
think
when the strike
You
hit,
should
we
do a
had 6.
Photoshop of like Chappelle on stage and you two in the wings, just like looking at the.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh, yeah,
See,
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
interesting you say Photoshop because we have so many photos of us
Right.
doing just that.
Well, we could shop through them, kind of look for the right one.
Yes, we could
No.
definitely shop through the photos
Yes.
to find the best one.
Yes.
So, April, I did some research,
yes.
and I do think it's fitting that you're wearing a Next shirt,
Oh, yes.
which I don't know if like everyone would knows it or like I just used to like Steve Jobs so much. I remember being at the age where I was like, he's a genius.
What
And
did you
now-
like? What did you like about him?
I think as a narcissist, I sometimes admire unvarnished egos that are willing to abandon their daughter for a greater good.
Yeah.
There's something because inside of me, I
Yeah.
would never, and I don't even know it was because of the daughter, or just societal pressures of being known as the guy who abandoned the daughter. I don't know. I
Name
can't tell what's
one-
morality
name
and what's.
Name one cool thing Steve Jobs did.
that logo to begin with. It's a cool logo, and it
pretty-
cost him like $800,000.
It's a pretty sick logo, you gotta
I
admit.
guess it's a pretty cool logo.
Pretty cool.
The Zune was better. You can play more games on Mac or on PC.
It's a Next logo for those listening. It's a Next.
It's a Next logo.
It was
for-
his failed company after getting fired from Apple.
Yes.
Is that correct?
And then he went back to Apple and just kind of gave up on Next, I think.
But
I don't know if it failed.
But he was useful. I'm not people.
Yeah, that
like,
guy.
like Elon
that
Musk.
guy invented the iPhone, and do you know how much porn you can look at on there?
Well, eventually
never
the
put it on
government
iTunes,
shuts
though.
your phone down, though.
What?
Eventually the government shuts your phone down, though. There's a
Well,
limit
for
you
the
can
kind
reach
that
it.
you look at.
Well, yeah, there's
Yes.
a limit you can reach at it.
Steve, he famously
They don't
would
let
not.
them draw dogs doing whatever anymore. Did you know that? Biden changed the law.
Because he has dogs.
Yes.
And it was like,
Yeah.
we got to respect dogs.
You heard what they're doing.
You watch one beautiful 3D animated video of the President of the United States sucking off his hound, and you can't use your phone no more.
I love that they have a problem. Biden's dogs keep biting people.
Yes,
And
they do.
Republicans leak that as if somehow that's going to really sway someone. Like, oh,
Right.
an unruly dog on top of everything
We
else.
need to get that dog out of the White House.
What if for Thanksgiving he pardoned the turkey but said, and in lieu of the turkey, I'm going to put down my dog?
Oh wow.
I don't remember the names of the
What
dogs.
are the dog? It's like Sergeant and
Sergeant
and
and
Army.
like Champ or something, or Army. Yeah.
I don't know. It's
One of the dogs got removed from the White House for biting too much. And they were like, well, that was the dog that was biting. But like a week ago, I read an article that was like, oh, the other dog bites people all the time, too. They've just like kept it more of a secret. But the dog that's still
Oh
at the
my
White House is
God.
constantly
Maybe Joe
biting
likes to take care of, Joe likes wild dogs. He likes his son. He likes chaotic entities that he has to
That's
like
true.
go in and give a hug and say, hey, it's okay.
I honest to God,
I'm looking up the names of the dogs.
Thank God. I was like, wow, April's already moved on.
if the other one is named Navy, you're going to be so embarrassed.
Okay. Oh wow, there's a lot of articles about the dog biting.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
didn't even really know about this. Okay, the dogs' names are Commander and Major.
Oh my God, they sound like war criminals.
Yeah,
They
they.
come up with crimes in
Yes,
Afghanistan.
they're probably at the Hague right now. They've
Yes.
left the White House.
That's why they keep
They're at
biting.
the
They're so
Hague,
used to
yeah.
just biting.
Yeah,
Well, my original point-
these are my dogs, Gitmo and Abu Ghraib.
Abu Ghraib.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs. Same with Elon Musk. I'm not saying they invent these, and I hate Elon Musk. They're clearly good at something, and
Yes,
it's like
yeah,
being
well,
the overseer and somehow
okay,
mingling
Steve
with the
Jobs
politician
is- I
and the
think-
ba ba ba. They play a role in the
think
thing.
Jobs more than I feel like Steve Jobs was like invented the kind
Yes.
of archetype that Elon is trying
Yes,
to be.
100%.
The sole genius who's at the head of the company making all the decisions, and
Yeah.
like he's the guy on stage
Yeah.
being like, "Yeah, I made a phone," and
And he's
it-
weird,
and
but
it's
he's
really
theatrically
cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you still want to watch the
Elon
show.
Musk is like trying so hard to be what
Yeah.
Steve Jobs was. I think.
Elon Musk wants one iPhone moment in his life.
Yeah,
And he just cannot get
Because
it.
Steve didn't come from money, right?
I don't think so.
Because I think, as someone who came from
Well, I
like,
don't know. I don't know
upper
for
middle
sure.
class, I think wealthy people they think they can achieve the cool of someone who came up from the bottom, and it's like you'll
Yeah.
never have
Right.
that connection to humanity,
Right.
ever. You'll
Right.
never have it. You will die, and you will never have that moment.
Uh-huh.
And if you start rich, at least take comfort that you got to be rich the whole fucking
Yeah.
time. But that's the thing
yeah.
that they crave. Elon's like, I just want to be cool. And it's like, you can't be. You literally can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of it too is it's the half measure of like, and I mean, there's a billion half measure guys like
Mm-hmm.
this who want to be viewed as inventors and literally like don't like have a bachelor's degree, kind of, that they
Right.
probably phoned in. Like,
Well, that's the
they
fantasy.
Don't
is that
know
it's
any
like,
of the
you don't even need
science.
that. You're a secret genius. You have the
Yes,
ideas
yeah.
guy, you know.
And you come with these big, you're like, well, what if the phone could take you to Mexico by plane? And you're like, and people are like, wow,
Wow.
what a great.
What if
we'll have a million people figure out how to.
Yes.
What if we made a truck that killed kids automatically?
Yes.
What if we made a truck
Yes.
that ran on blood?
I was just in San Francisco and they have these driverless cars there now.
Mhm.
They're
Every once in a while, they hit
everywhere.
a dog,
They're
they hit a
everywhere.
person, and
Yeah.
people go, "We need to get rid of all of them."
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
You know what? It's better than women driving.
Yes.
I'll tell you that much.
That's
you
exactly
know?
what I was going to say.
San Francisco
April.
is a safer city than LA because in LA there's a lot of women drivers. San Francisco self-driving car.
I just wish that because currently the self-driving cars are genderless, and I don't know if I'm comfortable
Could we
with a
make them
Whenever it
non-binary.
hits a
masculine?
dog or something, they should
Yeah.
go, "Sorry,
we-
that was one of
yeah,
the women."
could we make them a
autonomous
man?
cars.
No, I think it'd be great if they made the autonomous cars more masculine.
I'd like to make them a man, and the kind of man that's good at driving.
Yeah, because then when
Well, what's a man who's bad at driving? What's a name where you're like, man, but still no good?
I'm not gonna elaborate on what kind of men are worse.
You hear Fabrizio.
no, because if the autonomous car is male too, then when it hits a dog, it's like, sorry, that man was trying to get to work. Like you should not have been there.
That dog was in the way of capitalism.
Yeah.
That dog probably bit a bunch of people in the White House.
That man was just trying. That male car was just trying to feed.
You want to get
his
Republicans
family.
on board with autonomous cars? Have them hit commander or major.
That's what we're talking. I want
Well,
to name
there
a
you
dog. I
go.
want to name a dog Army. That's such a good name for a dog.
That is a really good name for
my
a dog.
names that I have for dogs and cats. So Army, obviously, I just came up with. I love that. And then I really think it'd be cute to name a dog or a cat Hello. I think that's really
that's
good.
sweet.
Do you think Army officials sometimes go, "Hey, I'm a major. Can you not name your dog?"
Probably.
No one names their dog cardiologist.
I should. That's a good one. That's a really good name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like cardiologist for a dog.
When you need him to come fast, you can just go cardio.
But yeah, that's good. That's good.
Hey.
My last name, and this is for a cat. I want to name a cat this. I want its name to be Tom and Jerry. Three words. That's the singular name for the one cat.
I like that a lot.
I think that'd be a really cute name for a cat. Tom and Jerry. Just
But then every
spitballing.
time you call it and people go, "Where's the other one?" You go, "Oh no,
No, that's funny.
it's just the one."
That's yes.
I like that. I don't think I've ever heard of a name that is two
Tom
names with an "and" in between.
Tom and Jerry. I think that'd be good.
I want to name. Speaking of cartoons, I would name a cat Jimmy Neutron. That's not a real smart one. I just like the name. I think it really rolls off the tongue.
You're a fan of the show?
I love Jimmy Neutron.
What do you like about Jimmy Neutron?
He's got that head is I think the only representation of how big my head is in media.
Your head's not
Really?
that big.
You don't
I have a
big
very big head.
You don't have a big head.
It's not
I have
Jimmy
a big
Neutron.
body, but then you go head shopping with me and you realize that the head
Oh.
is even bigger than the rest.
I see.
So, the reason I brought up Steve Jobs,
Yes.
I feel like you also wear that shirt because you skipped high school. You're sort of a genius.
Well,
And in a way, by associating yourself with Steve Jobs, you are, even in an ironic way, saying, "I am also a genius."
wow. So
Yes or no? Does April lean
Fuck.
into, in little ways, the,
Oh fuck! I'm just
I'm a young
I'm just
genius.
realizing my
Well-
best friend is a total piece of shit.
well,
Do you lean into it?
I'll tell you what. When I bought this shirt, I didn't know what it was. So
No way.
I didn't know when I bought the shirt.
Where did you buy a Next shirt?
I found it in a thrift store. I found it in a thrift store for like $5.
Like, do you wear a lot of Einstein shirts and
No. Oh my God.
just like
Yeah,
the little boy
actually.
genius?
Oh my-
Like, what's that? Wasn't there a movie?
Pretty
Little
much, the rest of her wardrobe is Einstein doing fun stuff like
Yeah.
tongue is out, or he's like giving a middle finger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
that's
pretty
pretty much
much,
the rest of
I
the
pretty
wardrobe.
much wear exclusively that, to show that I'm a genius, but I also like to play around a little bit.
One is him
know?
like hanging out with some gangsters, and
One is him with Ghislaine.
yes, one is him getting sucked off, like in that picture of Zach Galifianakis getting sucked off at the end of The Hangover, except it's like his face over Zach Galifianakis' face, and that's my favorite one because you can see some of his penis.
Right.
I see you going through every thrift store in America. Like, do you have Einstein shirts here?
Do you guys sell Einstein shirts here? Hey, do you guys sell Einstein shirts? Do you have any Einstein shirts where he's like doing something fun or like hanging out or like having a good time?
Like one's a portrait. No, that's not good.
No. Do you have any where he's like doing something funny or goofy?
The Holy Grail is there's one of him smoking a joint somewhere.
In the
just a big fatty joint, and it goes equals MC.
In the community,
what was I talking about?
Yeah, that's right. In the community, that is referred to as the Holy Grail. It's the one we're all kind of looking for. There's rumored to be one somewhere in America. That exact.
It was owned by Oppenheimer at some point.
Yes.
But it didn't fit him. He was too tall.
Oppenheimer wearing an Einstein shirt is really funny to me.
Imagine him running into Einstein and be like, "Oh, this is so embarrassing."
Did they have
I'm wearing
like,
the shirt of you smoking a joint?
Did they have like Einstein merch when?
My girlfriend, when she was in Italy, said almost every tourist shop had two of the same shirts.
Wow.
One Heath Ledger Joker
Heath
and one
Ledger
Einstein.
Joker and
Where was
Einstein.
this?
In Italy.
I love the idea. Like it's like Einstein being.
In Italy, they think it's the same guy.
And she didn't see anybody with the Heath Ledger Joker shirt, but she saw multiple guys wearing that Einstein shirt.
Oh my god.
I think it's so funny because it's the Einstein. It's making him sexy, and it's like he was not. He was not sexy. But the idea, like he's
Unless
so
you were his
smart,
cousin.
let's
His
make him kind of
cousins were very
sexy.
into
He was
it.
into his cousins.
Wow.
They didn't talk about that.
And
if
they were into
Oppenheimer had
him.
a scene where Oppenheimer was like, "Hey, that is it really your cousin?"
That'd be good.
And he's like, "Let's focus on the bomb. We got bigger things to worry about than me."
Oppenheimer, focus on the real bomb. Don't drop bombs in my life.
Robert,
Coffee.
I think that's
when I
why.
come in my cousin,
That's why some of those
could
scientists.
destroy the world.
That's probably why some of those scientists were so weird because there was no time to address. You're like, well, we're talking about an atomic bomb. We don't
Yeah.
have time to talk about the weird fucking cousin thing over here, or the fact that
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer slept with half of our wives.
Oppenheimer, I'm worried. When I come in my cousin, I will start a chain reaction that will ruin my son.
Oppenheimer, I'm worried that when I come in my cousin, it could create 1,000,000 billion atoms that result in my son not being very good at math.
I'm trying to have an inbred child.
Yeah, and I think that could happen for you.
Doing 23andMe to like find your
Yeah,
candidates.
I want an inbred child because I feel like people who are really inbred are always beating me at pool, and I'd like to have a son who's really
true.
good. If you're inbred, I can only conclude you have kind of a genetic advantage at pool, at playing pool.
Yeah, guys who only know how to speak like 2 to 3 words are so good.
They're
at
so
pool.
good.
They're
guys
killer.
who you're like, how do you see? Your eyes are wrong.
Yeah, you're like,
They're
"Going,
so
Are you sniffing?
I
the
can't
balls?
tell. I can't tell
Are
if
you
you're
telling
breathing
where the balls
right
are
now.
through smell?
Yeah.
You're just sniffing around.
Okay, because society has become less inbred in general. If it just happened once, is the next generation going to be super fucked, or does it have to happen a lot? Like, you know what I mean? Like, have we separated so much that once in a while
We
would
might
be okay?
no, we might have to do it a few times.
Yeah,
Like
that's
with
a
Jews,
really
you know,
good point.
with Jewish communities, they test for. I'm sure you know the word because you're smart.
No.
Oh fuck, I forgot what it is.
what?
Is it Huntington's?
I don't
or-
know what you're-
there's some very specific disease that you test for, and if you both have this gene, you're like, well, you two can't fuck.
Oh,
It's
really?
gotta be stressful in high school. It's like, hey, I saw you two flirting. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. It starts with an L.
Uh,
Russell would not know it if Russell was
Loser
here, that's for sure.
syndrome.
Heyo. Got him.
Damn.
So, when did you start realizing, or when did your parents start realizing that you were unusually intelligent?
Well,
Just give a real fucking answer for once. I heard that well, and I said, here it comes. Here's the formulating.
oh man.
Toby goes, you're doing bit eyes. And I go, fuck, damn it.
Okay. All right.
Good answer, people.
I don't think here's the thing. Here's my real answer. Here's the thing.
I have a bad feeling. But
No,
go.
I'm being serious. I'm going to give a real answer. Here's the thing.
Why do you keep winking at me?
When you're a kid, I think that most of being smart is just being a huge pushover who follows all the rules.
Okay.
And I was good enough at doing school or whatever, but that was complemented by my ability to never do anything wrong. And then everyone thinks, "Oh, you're such a good student. You're so smart. You must be smart to be a good student." I wasn't smart. I was just lame.
I know
as
smart,
hell.
lame people who didn't skip all of high school.
Well, that's also okay. I mean, I think I just got kind of lucky with that. Like, there's
when was the moment that
Gianmarco.
you broke
my
the-
parents told me not to. There's the way I went to the University of Washington, and they have a thing where they take in like 10 like incoming high schoolers every year, and they put them through
Wait, that sounds like incoming high
incoming
schoolers.
high
I
schoolers.
thought you meant yeah.
So like incoming ninth graders, and they put them through 1 year of prep school essentially, and it's so hard. And
Why do they do that?
And if you don't fail, they unleash you in the university.
And it's
at
their
large.
attempt to get some geniuses. I mean, that's
It started in the 70s as a psychological under the psychology department. It was an actual thing. The old building when I started in that year of prep school, the building we were in, the classroom where all the classes were had like glass panes around. It was like it used to be like they were doing tests.
Oh my God.
It was like being in a lab or whatever, and it's not anymore. That's what they say.
Russell impression.
But
Oh my God.
but so if you, most of it's just about like brute force. Like, how much work can you do? Like,
But were your parents, did they, if I had a kid who was going to skip high school and do
my
this
parents
thing,
told me not to apply. They said I wouldn't get in. They said don't even bother.
did you apply because you were like, I don't want to spend any more time with my classmates?
I applied because I have a problem where I can't not achieve something.
How'd you even hear about it? Were they at the 8th grade, like scouting?
A friend of mine was also applying, and he was, I think, the kind of person whose parents really believed he was a genius and wanted him to do all of these things. And his mom told my mom about it, and my mom told me, and I was like, I want to apply. I'll apply. I'll take a swing.
Did your friend not get in?
He did not get in.
Oh, that's tough. He was
I
the one
know.
who wanted it, and
I
you're
know,
like,
and
yeah,
I-
you sent in the application. Last night I was like, whatever.
I beat him out. Yeah.
Are you still friends with him, or are you like, you're not?
No, this is like a peripheral friend in middle school, so I don't know. We're not really. We don't.
Yeah,
catch
do
up
not ask for
anymore.
comps if you're listening to this. Like,
But yeah, so that happened, and
Well, what were you like in school? Was it hard to leave your classmates? Were going
Not-
to high
not
school,
really.
and you were
I mean,
leaving them all.
everyone thought I was gay, and I was, and it was like whatever.
Were they mean about it, or were they like,
No,
people
I
thought
mean,
I was gay too?
no,
I still went to high school.
I had friends, like people liked me, whatever. But it was just like, whatever. I'm really excited about this new thing, honestly, going to college. And
Did you look at your peers though as less, not less intelligent, like you're dumb, but like, oh, I
Right.
can't connect with you because the things you talk about.
no, I don't think it's that I couldn't connect with them. I mean, I always in school at that age, I think I always felt like, oh, you know, like I'm working harder than other people here, and that was my cross to bear.
You're
That's
20 now?
fine. 22.
22.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you cross the
So.
20, it's a little.
Can
How
I
old are
ask
you?
a question, Gianmarco?
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Interstellar?
Yeah.
Love
Pretty much.
is the answer.
Interstellar in April. Yeah. I kind of like.
Which part of that movie are you referring to? He's like,
I spaceshipped it. I went I went really close to a black hole, and then I went like throughout time and used my love for April and my desire to do comedy with her to push her as a child to like not make any waves and to like
Yeah.
not like get in trouble or anything so she could get into the program, you know. And I would push like
you spoke to her through
little
like the
booker.
books.
Yes, I spoke.
She heard
to
your
her through
voice
the
and you're like,
books.
what?
I got
What's
your
that?
I got your hidden messages. Unfortunately, it also left me with serious mental problems.
Yes.
I believe there's codes and
Yeah.
everything now.
Yeah.
I can't watch a movie without seeing the signs.
Listen, maybe
you know?
I gave April schizophrenia, but we did sell out the Bell House last night, and without my Interstellar, we couldn't have done it.
When you
I'm
started.
29.
You're
by the way,
29.
yeah.
Okay, so you're young too. Fuck, I'm 35. Sorry.
My girlfriend's 33,
Yeah?
and you know she's fine. So I bet you're cool too.
Yeah, I remember 33. Tell her to enjoy it.
My girlfriend's 50,
Let's say,
and she says what we do is fine.
yeah. She says she's not a fan, but
Yeah.
she's glad we're having fun.
It's funny that if any of my friends started if any of my friends start dating a 22-year-old,
Uh-huh.
I'd be like, bro,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
You'd be like, bro, good
Bro,
for you.
nice.
What are you doing?
Bro, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
What are you doing? What
there
are
we
you what are you doing that
go.
I can start doing? Okay, nice, man, nice.
When you hang out with older people, do you ever feel like I need to prove that I'm not a child real quick?
Sometimes I don't know.
Like dropping some Einstein fact, or did you guys
Yeah.
see the shirt?
Right.
Well, I think the thing about April is that she never does anything to make people think she's a kid in the first place. It's not that she doesn't have to
understood.
disprove that
People
she's
are
not a kid,
people are often surprised, I think, to
Yeah.
find out that I'm the age.
I was
that
surprised.
I am.
Is it fun to drop it? Is it fun when people find out? Be honest, is there a little fun when people go, "You're 22"?
I like when other people say it about me.
Yeah.
I don't like to have to talk. I
You
don't
ever
want
do it
to.
as a little tip? 'cause
Okay,
you know
so-
she likes it.
It is kind of fun to tell people that, but I don't know if April maybe now the fun of it has worn off.
Yeah.
But I remember when we finally met in person. We'd
Yes.
known each other on Twitter for a while before. But when we finally met in person, you had a lot of fun telling me you were 19.
Yes. Okay.
Because I remember you were
It's
like,
getting less fun. 22 is
yes,
much less
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
One day you're like, "Guys, I'm 23," and they're like,
20
"Okay,
yeah.
That makes
I'm
sense.
38."
Guys,
sense, yeah.
I'm 29. Guys,
Can
that's,
you believe it? Yeah, there's.
How did you tell her when you first met? Like, was it online or what in person? You're like, "Did you
I
know?
actually let the cops
you buy
tell
me a
her.
beer?"
I actually let the cops do it.
Yes, yeah. Like Chris Hansen came out.
Can you imagine Chris Hansen, but for like sketch comedy duos?
Yes.
Like, you said you were going to meet here to work on a sketch,
Yes.
and you're like, "Not together, just advice."
Yes.
About what? Modern sexual mores? No.
We have the UCB4 waiting outside.
They're gonna take you to get help. Well, we went and we got a drink. We got some tacos, and then we were walking to some dumb gay club.
Yeah.
And I know that you had a good time telling me because I remember
I don't even remember.
Oh, I remember it perfectly. You were like,
You were just a baby.
I guess.
well, I know you had.
It wasn't an important moment for me.
Well, I know you had
But
fun.
cool that was like a cool, like emotional moment for you. It was whatever for me.
No, I think I have a pretty good memory of interactions I have with people.
One day on your deathbed, your life flashes, and it's just this moment.
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah.
it's just me recounting.
Right.
In like
It's not even a thing.
No, this not even this moment. Yeah, this moment is cool for me. Gianmarco is here. I'm having a good time. I'll
just
remember
me
this.
You meeting your favorite comedian, Grace Freud, was not a huge moment for you.
Who?
You brought me gift cards. You brought me like 5 different
You
gift
brought
cards.
gift cards to your first meeting?
Yeah, you were like, I'm such a big fan. Here's 50 for Applebee's.
50 to
Here's
Hooters.
40 for Hooters. Here's 30 for Ruby Tuesday. They kind of counted down.
I had to declare bankruptcy after that.
But hey, Fro was like, I remember you being like, how old do you think I am? When we were walking to Cubbyhole or whatever.
It came up somehow.
No, it sounds like you forced
I
it out of
remember.
nowhere.
I think.
I don't
think it came up-
remember.
I do think it came up.
I don't remember, so I can't even defend myself.
It was something. We were talking about some movie when it came out or something.
Yeah.
And so I do think it like the age of when you saw something like came up. Or
Yeah.
something. But
Well, that's
you
what-
took
that's
it as
what-
an
Talking about like George
opportunity.
Bush Sr. and
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
took it as an opportunity. Oh, you know what it was?
What?
It was literally the 2004 election. I made
Really?
a reference about John Kerry, and I talked about how I was on like Kids Vote, and I was like a big John Kerry fan.
I don't remember this at all.
And you said something to the effect of, "I don't remember John Kerry at all," and I was like, "Really? How old are you?" And you were like, "How old do you think I am?"
Oh, okay.
And
right.
then you were like,
But did she say it like, "I don't remember John Kerry at all"?
"Well, I was like, you must because you're like 25, right?" And no, she said, "I'm 19."
The idea of you stumping for John Kerry is a very funny.
I knew everything about John Kerry. I was really politically active at 10.
Give me a John Kerry fact that I don't know.
Let's go.
He is married to Teresa Hines Carey, who is the heir to the Hines fortune.
She's siblings with
Why?
Cheryl Hines?
Huh?
Cheryl Hines? Is she siblings with Cheryl Hines? Isn't Cheryl Hines?
Cheryl Hines also the heir to the Hines fortune?
I think
guess
so.
But people
don't know.
How many
would be
Heinzes
like,
are there?
oh, his wife is where all the money comes from. But he was successful before. I mean, I don't really care about John Kerry anymore, but I just watched so much cable news at a very young age.
I just love if you went door to door and those were the only facts you could tell people about this candidate. You were stumping for it. Let me tell you about. He's married.
People
He
often
served
think
in
he got his money from his
Vietnam,
wife.
I think. Listen, it's been a long time.
So
All I know is maybe he lost the election nationally, but I think due to my speech in class,
Grace
he
still
did
talks.
only slightly
Grace,
lose it.
if you let her go too long, she'll start talking about the recount
Yeah.
and how we need to,
Wait, April, there wasn't a recount for that one. Is the thing.
she wishes there was. She's like, we need a recount. This isn't
People
right.
don't remember
there was
Ohio.
voter fraud. They
Ohio
let
was
people
like
in
the
Ohio.
Florida of 2004.
Some people in Ohio voted 3 or 4 times. Actually, people cross state lines to vote several times.
He's a nice-looking man, that John Kerry. You got to admit that.
he's a good looking one. Joe Biden was really good looking when he was young.
I think.
And then he got really ugly.
Yeah.
Now I think he's better looking. Like
think so?
sometimes
I think
in
you're
the
right.
90s, I'm like, you look awful, Joe.
Yes, when he started off in the Senate, even he looked not great.
Yeah.
But now he's.
Now
I would
he's
hit it from the
fucking-
back.
Yeah. Just for
I'd
the
do
back.
back shots for Biden.
Really?
No, I don't think I would.
I think
I
there's no
lied.
way to do that. Wouldn't be rape.
They go like he can be president. He can be president, but he cannot consent. This is elder abuse.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got her. We go live to Grace Freud. Grace, what's so funny about raping Joe Biden?
Have you ever seen the movie Hugo?
It came out before she was born. When did Hugo come out?
Oh my God.
it's
No,
like-
the movie
It
Hugo.
was about the magic of film. That joke was about the magic of jokes.
The movie Hugo was set. One time we were on stage and Grace brought up the movie Hugo, which it's Scorsese, right?
It is.
And she told me that on stage. She was like, "Have you seen the movie Hugo?" Which I have. And I was like, "Yeah, I think so." And she was like, "Yeah, the Scorsese movie." And for some reason, finding out that Hugo, which in my memory is like a, essentially like a B-list, like kind of flop of like a.
So first of all, it was a really successful film.
Was it
for me.
really?
For those of you who have never seen Girl God, it's mostly Grace asking, "Have you seen various movies?"
For some
April
reason,
saying no.
for some reason, finding out that it was a Scorsese film was
Yeah, it really broke
the
you.
funniest thing in the world to me. It's not funny to me anymore, but it really got me. I couldn't believe it. It just seems insane.
And was the audience on board for this joy that you were feeling, or
I
were
think
they?
they were
they
laughing
were.
at me and how funny I found it, but that's fine.
That's good. Even.
Sometimes comedy can be that. That's okay.
And when you start, so you did this year program.
So I did this. I did the year. then
Did
I-
everyone do? So at least you were with some people your age,
yes.
and all people who got into the program. So at least you had like
Yes.
a mix of socializing with people your age.
Yes, a little bit. They're all so weird.
Yeah, I was.
I've met
Wait,
some
hold
of
up.
them.
It's mostly
You're saying the 10 kids who skipped high school are weird?
mostly they're really. You get a lot of weirdos in
Came there just being like, which Einstein shirts do you have at home?"
Right. They all wear shirts where Einstein is like doing math and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Doesn't anyone have a shirt where he's smoking a joint and it says E equals MC? What was I talking about? Doesn't anyone have that shirt? No one had it.
So then you finish the program and they go, "Hey, do you want to just start college?"
they well a year later they send you in.
Are your parents going like, do they talk to you about it? Or are they just like, you know what, April knows
At
what
this
April wants
at
to do,
this
let her go.
point they're like on board. I also around that time came out as trans, and so I think it was kind of a big era for like, well, April's gonna do what she's gonna do. We can't.
Sure.
Whatever. She's trans. She's smart. She's doing her thing.
You feel smarter than your parents?
Whatever. My parents are so stupid. I love them, but I'm sorry. They're.
Was that hard? Was that hard to feel like you knew better than your parents at such a young age?
I mean, to be fair, I think most people feel that way.
No.
Really?
I disagree. I think with comedians, perhaps. And I think that's why
Okay.
I think a lot of comedians and other art fields,
Yeah.
experience that earlier than other people do. I think people sometimes find that out in college or in
Everyone
their 20s
always-
or their 30s or when their parents
I guess,
die.
yeah, people talk about like, oh, the heartbreaking moment of realizing my parents are just another guy. I knew that when I was 5 years old. I knew you're just some stupid guy or whatever.
When you were a baby, they're like, this is your dad. You're like, but it's also just a guy.
All right, yeah, you're just some guy. Okay, all right.
No, I don't think that's.
Okay.
I don't think that's everyone.
Okay.
I mean,
But like
I
even
think
you,
it's-
like look at you. So talk about your story. You saw sides of your dad at a young age where you knew something's strange here, something's unusual, something's wrong. Why is this thing? Why is there alcohol hiding in the front of the car engine exploding?
That's-
and that's partially why you have a perspective early on where you go, everything's full of shit, and no one's talking about it.
I think that the biggest similarity April and I's childhoods have is definitely that we both at a young age were like, our parents are kind of fucking idiots.
They're
and
crazy. Yeah,
we
they're
just got to figure it out ourselves.
they're insane, not serious people. So basically at that point, yeah, they were like, whatever, she's going to do what she's going to do. And I was like, okay.
I think it's just incredible that you had the wherewithal, because I felt that way, but I didn't have
Yeah.
the wherewithal to. I still went with the system. I was
Right.
like, well, you go to high school and then you go to college.
Right.
I admire some people who drop out of college because I'm like, the
Right.
fact that like I didn't think that was an option.
Right.
Like that's
Right.
what Steve Jobs did.
So true. Well, I'm kind of, I had that experience. I feel I did kind of go with the system in some sense. Like, I fell into this kind of thing, but then school finished. I didn't know what to do, and I went to grad school because school is all I'd ever been good at.
And what you major in grad school?
I was doing a PhD in women's studies, and I did that for a little shy of 2
Pretty much
years.
looking at boobs and stuff
Yes,
and
yeah.
ass and
The hardest
lot
part
of
of
Is that what women's
Yeah.
studies is?
The hard-
I had
well,
no
that's
idea.
how April
Yes.
did it, and that's why it didn't work out. in
That's
the
why I
end.
had to leave.
Legs,
yeah.
tits, or ass? A PhD. by
Yep.
Clark.
Yep.
When you did that, did you have any fantasies at all of what you were going to do with your life with that degree? Did you think?
I wanted to be an academic. I wanted to teach and write, and I wanted to.
And were you like, I'm gonna come up with a new thought about gender no one's ever thought
I
of?
mean, no, that actually was the drive, honestly. I think the reason I went into, another serious answer here, the reason I went into women's studies is because I was
Because they're nice.
young and trans, and I was like, I'm gonna figure it out, and then I'm gonna figure out what's wrong with me and why I'm like this.
Was
and
it was specific to you, not society?
I mean, I took that and turned it on society.
Sure.
But I think the drive was, why am I like this? And then
Uh-huh.
what happened is I got to grad school and I, got a few years in, and I think that drive kind of wore off because I grew up enough to realize that, I'm not gonna figure anything out. None of this matters. I'm not figuring shit out.
Was
I'm
it a
not
moment
gonna,
that you hit that you were looking at another page of tits and you said,
it was a slow burn because I would look at so many tits. So it was a slow burn of realizing I don't
You know what the
understand.
thing is with you, with both of you, is that like if I want to make a joke, the problem is you guys are such yes-anders that we will not return
Right.
to the serious
Right,
answer.
right.
And so immediately I was like,
I give you a
Gianmarco,
serious
now that you
answer?
said tits, we're never going to find out what April's revelation was.
I remember when she left her program. Can I give you a serious answer? Basically, what happened is she calls me up. She's like, I don't think I'm going to find a bigger nipple. I'm like, what? She's like, I think I've been looking again and again and again, and the biggest nipples I can find cover about half the tit. And I'm like, there's got to be a bigger one. And April goes, no, I've looked through all of the library at Stony Brook. I've looked through all hundreds of thousands of photos.
I've read about the
found-
Library of Alexander, the tits that were burned.
And I think I found
Sad.
the biggest
So
possible
sad.
nipples. And she goes, and I love those big pepperoni nipples, but I got to stop searching for something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Which is what she was looking for, I think, was a tortilla nipple. The mythical nipple that covers up the whole titty. But when April finally was able to admit that she was not going to find the tortilla nipple was when she was able to finally leave the program.
I understand just talking with you both of you that how you tore new hours. And sometimes I'm like, another new hour, that's really fast. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I can see how you world build fast.
It's just so There's so much stuff.
There's so much jokes we want to tell
We've
and
got-
bits we want to do.
There's so much jokes we want to tell.
No, it's so. What was the what was it gradual?
It was just it was a slow burn as
Were you depressed when you because part of this
I
sounds
think
like a
I was.
nihilism
No,
to a
I was.
degree.
I was like, what
Gender
am I?
nihilism.
What am I doing here? I'm not gonna figure this out. Like I don't. And I think a lot. What I was gonna say is I don't understand how people who are age, mid to late 20s, 30s, etc., are like, oh, I'm gonna get a PhD, and I'm gonna maybe their motivations must be purer than mine because my motivations wore off when I turned like 20, basically.
I think what you're saying is the opposite, April.
Yeah.
I think your motivations were pure and interesting and exciting and helpful to the world, and you lost them. That doesn't mean they weren't pure.
I guess
think a lot of people trying to get their PhDs
no, I mean
later on
I guess
are just doing it for something to do.
I guess I got over. I feel like I got over my thing. My kind of I stopped waking up every morning and being like, what is wrong with me? Like I got that drop. I think it was like some level of like self-loathing and like wanting to fit.
What was it when the feeling of something's wrong with me? Like, do you think you're gonna like fix something, or you're gonna come to a revelation of like?
I don't know. I don't really know what I was looking for, and something's wrong with me is like reductive. I think it wasn't just.
If it's what you felt, it's not reductive.
I
mean, it's just what.
But I think it's like I guess what I'm saying is it's embarrassing that some people continue to have that like urge so late into their life. I feel like you have to eventually realize you're not going to solve anything.
That it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But,
I'm a woman. I'm trans. What does that mean? I don't know.
Sure.
Is it?
You're really 40 and still scratching your head trying to figure out what it means that you're trans and if it's radical to go to parties and stuff. Like,
Sure. I don't
know.
I think I actually maybe because I wasn't involved in this, like as someone who's not well versed in trans theory,
sure,
as someone like who very much adopts just like I'm just living my life, kind of what you were just saying.
Yeah,
I do kind of appreciate people who are like able to work in a mode and write in such a different way than I can about experience, like how I would write about. I wouldn't really write about my trans experience. I would like write jokes about it, or I would write stuff that was like inspired by it, but not explicitly about it. But what you're talking about, the person who's like, oh, I'm going to write a paper, an essay or something about what it means to be a trans woman at a party or something.
Yeah.
Oftentimes that's just garbage. But when someone's really, really good at it,
sure,
it can be like, whoa, wowzer.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Its own.
I agree. I agree that it can be definitely, but I don't think that. I guess there's just this slow kind of falling out of love with doing that.
Yeah.
And then this wonderful life raft showed up, which was, I can kind of do comedy. It seems like I see a path to do this. It's a different kind of writing that I am loving, and I feel like my sense of humor developed over the years, and I got to a place. I saw the runway, and this things kind of fell into place, and I was like, I think I'm gonna do that. And I met Grace, and Grace was like, you should. I was tweeting a lot and doing elaborate jokes online and stuff, and Grace was like, you should try doing these on stage. You should try bringing the go bigger, and I did, and it's a lot of fun.
Do you think you would have found your way to comedy had Grace not interceded in your life?
Probably not. I don't
Really?
know. Well, I mean, I was on Twitter, I guess, already. I don't know.
I mean,
Could be like a
you're
full
so
Twitter.
funny, April. You're so smart.
But it could have
Grace,
pivoted into like you could have ended up being like a person who like took over the
There are a
women
lot of
showing their L's account, and you'd
yeah.
have 1 billion views, but you'd be miserable.
But I also think that there are a lot of people on Twitter who are also funny, who don't ever turn to, people where I'm like, why are you doing this? You spend a lot of time on Twitter for like.
You were never a theater kid, right?
Were
At a,
Were you, April?
I mean,
Were you?
yeah, yeah. I
were.
She
As a
auditioned for America's Got Talent.
as a
You auditioned for
young
America's Got Talent?
as
Video.
There's video?
as a young
She was in a short film.
kid, in like middle school,
Say the rest.
all through elementary school and middle school, I would say I did theater. I
You
enjoyed.
started a production of Les Mis, right?
I did a lot of theater.
You started a professional production of Les Mis.
Yes,
Who were you?
Gavroche. It was very fun.
This is my good Russell. I'm sorry.
Poor Russell.
I love Russell. I'm just goofy.
So I guess I did theater, and I was sick to get paid as a kid to do some shows and stuff. That was cool, but then I stopped doing that too.
But what did you submit for America's Got Talent? Were you just reading your tweets?
No. Oh, this was I was
She
like
little.
I was like
She
10.
little.
Sure.
I was like
Yeah.
10, and they had a big open call in Seattle, and my
What did you perform?
dad was like, "You should." I'm not talking about this.
Please, no, come
I'm
on.
not
How is
talking-
this
Okay.
the thing?
I'm not talking
This is
about
the
this
thing you're most
This
embarrassed
is the thing
about.
I'm most embarrassed about.
What did you sing? What did you
Gianmarco,
sing?
Gianmarco.
This is
I
the
don't
thing.
know what the song was, but I know she sung while playing piano. Or playing keyboard, maybe. I don't know.
Oh my God! Please tell us the song.
No.
Please. How do you know this video? Have you seen
This
the
is
video?
the thing.
I've only heard of the video. I haven't seen the video.
Was it that song like "Some People Want"? And you were little, so
Wait,
like,
April,
"Some
can you please tell us what
people
song it was?
I think we've truly stumbled on the thing I am most embarrassed about in my entire life.
Well,
It's-
this is The Downside with Gianmarco Soresi.
oh my God.
This would be a real exclusive.
I didn't tell my girlfriend found out about this from my parents after 2 years of dating. They brought this up.
Oh, I think I
or maybe you
might
did.
have told Camille about
I don't know. And she's like, why wouldn't you tell me that? And it's like, I don't think you understand. That is my greatest shame.
it. What was
That would be a
the
funny
song?
relationship
April.
where it was like you should have said this before we ever had sex.
Yeah,
And I'm
no,
like,
it was a huge
now?
deal. We had to talk about it for a lot, and
And
you
you're
know,
still in a restorative justice process.
I am. Yeah, I'm.
And as part of that, I think you have to tell us what the song
April, I'm
was.
begging you, please tell us what
No,
Please.
no, I
Please,
can't.
please
I
tell us.
can't. I
Please.
can't.
Please.
April, please, come on, man.
I can't. Great.
I'm making
can't.
a
Bleep
fool
it.
of
I'll bleep it on
myself.
the episode.
No, you
but
won't.
I will. You
I
vow. You have my promise right now.
No.
I will bleep it on the episode.
No, you won't.
But
Because
just let us
no,
know in this
because
moment.
I'm gonna say it, and then Grace is gonna say it a lot of times, or she's gonna tell people.
just wanna
can't.
know.
Grace,
I
if she
can't.
says it and we bleep it, do you promise we
I
won't?
promise.
I can't give you this ammunition. I can't.
I will not. It's not.
We were talking about this at the beginning of the
promise to
episode. You got to
God.
keep your cards close to your chest, so
April, I
people
prom-
can't
April,
hurt you.
I pinky
promise.
promise, and that means something to me.
I was 10 years old.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I was 10 years old.
And what was this? Did you sing?
You're gonna pinky pro- You're gonna
Yeah, I'll
pinky pro-
pinky promise.
So basically, what I'm saying is, I was 10 years old. You can't. I don't even think I really made this choice. It was just a song I knew how to play. Okay.
Yeah.
It was just a song I knew how to play. It's not even that big of a deal. I'm making it a
Okay.
bigger. I'm making it a bigger deal
What
than
was
it
the
needs.
song,
We'll still
April?
bleep it, though.
This is my biggest shame. You're gonna bleep it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're not gonna bleep
I'm
it.
going
Yes.
to bleep it.
You're gonna.
I'm going to bleep it.
Gianmarco, you can trust Gianmarco.
Okay, but don't say it a bunch of times after and
I
make it
won't.
impossible to.
I won't.
bleep.
I won't say it a single time.
If you break my trust,
I will not say it.
okay. I was age 10. My father brought me to this big open call or whatever, and I had been playing the piano for some time, and I was 10 years old. This is worse than being groomed. I was forced. I was forced to do this. The song
Sorry that happened to you.
the song I played was I've never told this to anyone. I've never said this to anyone. The song I played was
That's just a nice song.
It is a nice song, but a 10-year-old doing it is really
I was
funny.
10. I was 10. Whose idea was that? Why did I know how to play that on the piano? What was happening there? I don't know.
Well,
You should have chosen a more popular song. 'Cause then
should
maybe
have.
you would have been on American
I probably
Got Talent.
should have. Yeah. So
I'm gonna get back into my spaceship and interstellar you, so that you choose a more popular
you did
song.
this. Grace did this to me. Grace made me choose the song for this moment.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to interstellar myself,
Yes.
so that I interstellar
Yes.
you differently.
Yes.
Well, if you want to find out what the song is, if you're an unbleeped version, join the Patreon, patreon.com.
Can I say what I thought? What I thought it was gonna be?
Yeah.
"Come Sail Away" by Styx.
That's so random.
I just thought it was.
Why would it be that?
I thought that was the funniest option, and I thought it was gonna be that.
Away.
Sail away. Also, one time I saw a blind kid do it at a talent show, and it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
He was trying to play a totally different song.
Come steer the way. Okay, sincere question. If you had to, some crazy person puts a hit out on you, and they say you have to get to the first round of America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
On singing alone, and
Oh,
truly,
wow.
and you had to do it sincerely, and you know
Okay.
they're not gonna. You know Simon's not gonna be into some alt, whatever thing.
Yeah.
What's the song that you're gonna sincerely sing that maybe you have
Easy.
enough heart?
Easy.
Yeah.
Summer Wind by Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
The summer wind is closing in from across the sea.
It's a no for me, mate.
Okay, wow. Now I'm gonna die.
That's great, but it's a no from me, mate.
I wasn't even saying I was a good singer. I'm just saying if I had to sing.
Well, listen, would you ever be a part of a boy band?
Well, actually, Simon, I'm more of a girl.
We've got this great band, One Direction, and the direction is little boys.
I'm
we'd
actually
love-
It needs to be an all trans One Direction. No one has done that yet.
We'd love for you to be a
an
part of One
inverted
Direction.
One Direction. We
Could
could
you-
just call it
would you-
inverted One Direction.
Would you consider joining One Direction? It's a no from me. Sorry, love. It's a no from me.
Let's go on to the next segment. This has got to stop.
This has got to stop.
So this is a time we bring up something that needs to stop, needs
Yes.
to end. Is there something that you're tired of, needs to go away? I can go first if we want to warm
Please warm it up.
it up. Having bananas as a snack doesn't count if the bananas are all inedible. You can't just have a bowl of bananas in a Delta Lounge if they're all
Yeah.
completely
No, I'm totally with
then
you.
there are not bananas.
I'm totally.
In
Do
a
not
Delta
provide
Lounge.
food. This does not count as food.
I'm totally with
Put
you.
it away. It's embarrassing.
If it's perfectly ready to eat, if you've got like
You want me to call Delta?
yes,
Yeah,
Will you?
the podcast will be 3 more hours to get those motherfuckers
yes,
on the line.
good. Grace will. Grace
Yes.
is my friend who will call Delta to complain about something like this.
If it was not fair, but I actually think you deserved those bananas.
Why don't you put
Gemma.
out a
agree.
bowl of rocks and say, well, we had rocks for breakfast. It doesn't count.
I
You didn't do
agree.
anything.
I agree.
And same with apples. Sometimes the apples, I'm like, guys, I don't think my standards are that high. These are inedible apples.
Right.
They're disgusting.
Most apples are.
Just because you wrapped it in, they wrap it in that case because they're about to fall apart. That's
Right.
like disgusting.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not good. Snack selection needs to get way better. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I think in general, people's understanding of what a snack is all wrong.
It's basically like sweet crunchy dust or savory crunchy dust.
Yeah.
What's in the Girl God Rider?
The Girl God Rider is
really
a 6-pack of
simple.
shitty beer.
It's literally a 6-pack of shitty beer. And what if I told you that like half of the places we've been on tour this time just have not been able to even do that? But that's okay.
I have in my rider, I have sushi, brown rice if possible.
Wow.
And the one time
you serious?
The one time the club did it, I was like, what's this? And they're like, the sushi from your rider. And I was like, and you did it?
Oh my
You actually
god,
bought it?
that's so funny.
Oh my God.
I've been
Mic drop San Diego.
Wow.
Hey,
Mic drop San Diego.
I've been thinking we got to get a little more creative. Like
You can
think
ask for a
so.
little
well,
more
but
than
here's
that.
the thing. No one tells when I got into this game and all of a sudden you've got venues and whoever being like, send us your hospitality rider. What do you need in the green room? What am I allowed to ask for? Give me some rules here. Like, I don't have an
But
understanding
it
of what the
depends on
limits
how much
are.
money your show's going to be making.
Right, so-
if you're making a lot of money, you can really fucking say,
they,
hey.
Yeah.
but they should tell me I need someone to. I guess it's nice to hear what other people put because I need to understand the rules about that. I'm like, can I ask for a snack or can I ask for
I had this genius
beer?
idea.
Is super simple. Can I ask Yeah,
What
yeah.
if we asked for just like a pepperoni pizza because we always never have food before?
Yeah, that's a.
So
but,
if we literally just
well, I'm
asked
like,
for,
I don't know.
a pizza
Can
there,
we ask for that? Like,
I think that's reasonable. Maybe not. They wouldn't always do it, but sometimes.
But then sometimes you feel guilty because for a bit, I had a coffee and almond or oat milk was nice. And
Yeah.
so then I'd show up and they'd have a gallon of almond
Oh,
milk. And I was like,
no.
oh,
Yeah.
this is all going to waste.
yeah,
And I felt so guilty.
it doesn't feel cool.
No.
No, it doesn't feel
It doesn't
cool at
feel
all.
good to
None of this
waste.
feels particularly cool.
My other
Okay.
genius idea was we always need note cards for like different bits we do, and what if we put note cards on the rider? So
could.
we would never
Honestly, we fucking should. We always for this show. We always need them.
And my
Bell
other
House.
genius idea-
Bell House yesterday had note cards.
Yeah,
in there.
that's where I got the idea.
Yeah.
Because they had my other genius idea, babes, right? Like we're
Girls.
always looking around. We're
Girls.
like, where are the babes? If we
Girls.
just have them on the rider.
Put them.
easy.
Just bring them in there. Yeah, it's always really funny when in the green room if we have like a couple friends or whatever and they're all girls. I'm like, if someone walks in, it kind of looks like we just have like a group of girls in the green room. It's like, no, we're pals. Like it's whatever. It's a funny look.
Do you have a This Has Got to Stop?
Yeah, I have. Or,
You go. You go.
I think we got to stop the number 11. I'm tired of having to count to 11 about everything all the time to feel good about myself.
That's good.
I wish it could be a lower number, you know? Like
When was the last time
1
you had
or
to
2.
count to 11?
I've been counting to 11 the whole fucking time, man.
How many girls are in the green room? Not 11.
Yeah.
Fuck, just 9. That's all I need. 11's too many.
We got to get 2 more. But that's my fucking, what's it called? A no good Nick? A not anymore.
This has got to stop. A no good Nick. A no good Nick. That's back when they did The Downside in the 1930s. It was called the No Good Nick.
Not any. You paid 5 cents and you watched it on a little thing.
This is the why I oughta.
Yes, the why I oughta. Wow. Oh man.
Let's go further. Let's see how good our improv game is. What's the 1800s version?
Oh fuck.
That one's pretty offensive.
Yeah, we,
That one was racist.
we
And
can't.
That one is
yeah, we
really.
can't.
It was kind of developed pre-Civil War. It's really no good.
Yeah. Then
And way back it was
But
thou
the
shalt not
Yeah.
yes.
anymore.
And even before that, it was just sin.
Yeah, and back in
called
like
it,
year
yeah.
0, it was.
Yeah. And it's hard to translate that. It doesn't have a
But it is got at
Direct
least 3
word.
slurs, I think.
but it's yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
What's your This Has Got to Stop?
My This Has Got to Stop is we've been on the road a lot recently, driving around, going in gas stations and stuff. My This Has Got to Stop is you have to have Diet Coke in a can in a gas station. You can't. But this is similar to Gianmarco's. You can't. A lot of places have Diet Coke only in a bottle, if they have it at all. And so you can't put it in a bottle.
It's never cold enough.
Can I
guys.
No,
just say,
you can't put Diet
I've
Coke
been
in
at
a
all of
bottle.
these gas stations,
Yeah.
and I agree with you.
Yes.
I prefer Diet Coke in a can.
Yeah.
But you just said if they have it at all, they have it at all the gas stations in some form.
Not everyone. You know, I had to go in 3 places to get you a Diet Coke the other night
Really?
in Philly.
Honestly?
Yes, I went in several places. They were out. I went into CVS. They were all out.
Thank
I went into
you.
a separate store. They were all out. I mean,
I didn't know that.
it was on my way. Whatever.
That's still.
But
Thanks.
I went into several places looking for, and they
I
di-
appreciate
and when I
it.
It's very nice. The fact that she didn't bring it up to me is
Yeah.
if I got Tova anything and
Yeah.
I had to stop at 3 stores to get that thing, oh, that's what we're leading with.
really
I'd be like, just so you
Okay.
know, this was a big,
no, I actually
big
feel
favor.
I feel like you can't say this without sounding like an asshole, but it brings me great joy to do something and not say that. Especially for like my girlfriend or whatever. I feel like such a good person when I'm like, yeah, I stopped at 3 different places on my drive home.
Yes, I passed
get
12 homeless
something
people
for
on the
you.
way there.
Yes.
And didn't give them any. In fact, I
Yes.
spit on 2 of them.
I did.
But
For her.
for her.
But to do something like that and not bring it up or whatever, it's like, or like, you know, you do a chore, you do a big thing around the house that she was dreading doing, and you don't say anything.
Do
it feels so
you-
good.
Do you
Oh.
literally pat yourself on the back after
Not literally, but it's
When she turns around and drinks, you go,
but yeah,
that's
just
all I need.
just like that. That's all I need. But all of this to say, yeah, I went into 3 places and two didn't have it, one didn't have it in a can. They only had a bottle.
Wow.
That's
Which
what you would.
I guess
I
it's fine.
mean,
You
I
prefer
just
you've
like-
been buying the bottles anyways.
I
That's fine.
get the bottles.
Diet Coke
because
should
it's
always be in a can.
openable.
Oh, also, Monster Energy drink should always be the color of the can that it's in.
I think that it would be really cool.
Sure, I get that. That's a good point.
Thank you.
April, I'm touched. I'm touched.
I just wanted
I'm
to
touched.
I just wanted to say it's so
Tear to
fucked
my
up
eye.
when you open like a purple Monster and the drink is like green or something. What is happening here? It's so simple. Just put food coloring in it. Just make it purple. It should be the color of the can that I'm buying. That's why I picked the can. Is because I wanted a drink that was that color. Ugh.
How can you even tell though? Like, where are you seeing the color?
In the drink
She
when you
drinks it like
you
this. She
open
does like
it
one of
and
those.
you
Like,
look at
When
yeah,
I
I
look
do
into
like
a can, I can't tell what the color of the liquid is. I don't think.
oh.
You see it on the rim. You see it.
You see it on the rim.
Oh,
it's
okay.
there.
No,
You see
that's
it in the.
actually a really good
You look,
point.
and I think you do see it. It's just weird to have.
I always forget to check the rim in many different parts of my life, and that's really
a
fucked me
new
over.
element to your life to really explore the colors of all the liquids you're drinking. Let's go on to our final segment.
You better count your blessings.
You better count. your
Wow. I want a 5-minute version of that. That's
I'll ask
That's
him.
cool. Who made those?
Douglas Goodhart.
Oh wow!
A member of my sketch team, Uncle Function, and a great musician.
Wow!
In a musical in Milwaukee, which I forget the name of, but go see it. We'll put it in the
Wow!
comments. This is we say one thing we're thankful for.
Wonderful!
Something nice.
Wonderful!
We've complained a lot. It's been a great episode. I'm
yeah,
so
I
delighted
love to
have you both.
complain.
My blessing. I got bumped up to first class on the way back from San Francisco.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
wonderful.
I mean, and it was the good first class. It was a dream.
What line?
But
what airline?
Delta.
Okay.
And it was like, but
Yeah.
I fell asleep. I slept for
so
hours.
the ones where you can sleep straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I've never been in first class in my life.
And I woke up because I heard like a thud, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my phone somehow fell,
Sure, sure.
and it fell deep within this mechanical chair
Yeah.
in a way that. So I suddenly this blessing became. I was like, oh my God, am I not gonna have a phone? It was
Right.
a really tight day,
Right.
and the attendant. She took off her shoes so she could like get on the chair to dig
And
in.
she took off her
and
shirt
rip
to make
off.
it really sexy as she was
Yeah,
doing it
yeah.
too.
And found this phone.
Wow.
And I mean, you look in the mechanics of the chair, and it's like there was like an old knife in there.
Oh,
It was
wow.
it was so vile. You're like, so what was the plan here? This was just going to be disgusting forever.
Jesus.
But found this phone,
Yeah.
and for her to do like 20 minutes.
That's so
And I
much.
think
Wow.
if you're ever like in business class and the attendant doesn't come after forever,
Right.
it's because they're helping a first class passenger.
It'd be so funny if she got your phone up and you were watching a video titled like "Hot Flight Attendant Fucks First Class Passenger After He Drops His Phone" or the exact
Flight attendant
situation
takes
that
off her
you're in.
shoes.
Yeah,
Flight attendant has to search.
Wait, yeah. Why did she have to take off her shoes?
Oh, because
I don't know.
he
Just
asked.
I think it would help if you took off.
Yeah. Hey, baby, do you think it would help if you took off your shoes? Hey, dog, I couldn't help it. Do you think you'd feel more comfortable if you took off your shoes, honey?
Let those feetsies breathe.
Let them breathe. Let them air
In the
out.
sky, there are no rules.
Let the dogs fucking bark and bite.
They look a little cold. Maybe my mouth would be.
Between your feet and the
Warm 'em
clouds,
up,
I'm in
yeah.
heaven,
Well, I
baby.
wasn't gonna go there. That's disgusting.
What did you say?
That's gross. You want to suck on her feet?
No, I
God,
Ew.
suck on them.
That's so
playing
gross.
with you
I want to
guys.
appreciate them because they're
I said
beautiful.
They look a little cold.
I don't want to put them in my
warm 'em
mouth.
in my
you
mouth?
sicko. Oh my god.
I can see beauty without wanting to put it in my.
That was
my
just me doing an impression of Russell again. That wasn't me.
Wow.
Do you have a blessing?
Yes, I think that this made me want. Is it like? I mean, it's what I'm feeling after the Diet Coke thing. You're on tour. April and I have gone on tour so much this year, and when you go on tour together, April's my best friend in the world, but it's like, I think I'm not always the most easy. I mean, I'm counting all the time, and I made April give me like 100 high fives yesterday.
I had to tell Grace you can't do this compulsion with me anymore.
Yeah,
the high
we
fives
can't
or
do the high
whatever,
fives
the OCD.
anymore.
I can't do that.
But
As just constant like high five.
yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much just me
yes.
going. Like, but I would just like to say that I think you are I'm very glad that I don't think I'm the only reason that you got into comedy, and that I think you are a genius and very funny and would have found success doing cool, funny, weird stuff no matter what. But I think I'm very blessed that I get to tour with you. And
Wow.
I think I really think you're
Thanks,
a great friend.
Grace.
That's very sweet.
What's your blessing? And if you say, you can't say me.
Yeah, no, well, I wouldn't want to repeat.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to repeat everything.
That'd be
that I
boring.
just said.
Besides, you're like 2 or 3 for me in terms of friends. So
Yeah,
it's
okay.
so it's
That's
whatever.
fair.
You know. But no, the biggest blessing in my life. We've had a couple big blessings on the road. The first is the day we were flying to Toronto on Monday. There was a hurricane in LA.
Sure.
Yes.
We got out.
That's crazy.
Our flight was
We
on
really,
time.
yeah.
It's all fucking odds.
It was all
I managed
good.
to get a cab to the airport at 5 a.m.
Oh my god! Almost got murdered.
It was an insane. Everything was crazy. Oh my god, we got out. No problems with the flight. Everything was fine. I felt so blessed for that. I was like, my shit's about to get fucked. I'm not gonna make it to the show. I'm not gonna. Whatever. That was fine. Second blessing, another travel related logistical one. 2 days ago in Boston, we wake up in the morning. Apparently, a neighbor called the cops to try and get our car towed.
Yes.
They're about to tow our car. We come out right at that exact moment. We're like, please, no, please.
Cop wanted to tow it.
Yeah.
The tow truck drivers, though, they agreed not to.
Yeah, they were like,
cop was
thankfully
like,
it
"We
wasn't
gotta
on the
tow
car
it."
yet, but the cop still gave us a ticket for pretty much nothing. Insane. And we got the hell out of there. But I was, oh my God, if our rental car got towed and we had a show, that
would have
been awful. So those are my
day was crazy.
Those are my 2 wonderful close saves of the last year. And I think I'm in such a logistics mindset right now, and that's the biggest blessing is things not going wrong.
Yeah.
Those-
And the third kind of tour blessing was we left the merch at a Philly venue and we grabbed it
Oh yeah.
the next morning. It was
Yes.
still there.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was good. Everything's gone. There's been no major mistakes
Yeah.
Sure.
that haven't been
And the
rectified.
show last night was so good, and wow. You know, this tour has probably been, for me at least, the most stressful one. But honestly, yeah, when you think about it, like through the good things that have happened.
And for me, one last blessing, I'd like to thank God that I'm not gay. I'm going to heaven, baby.
Hey.
Now you're doing Russell.
Yep.
Okay, so this is coming out on September 5th.
Wow.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
before we go to plugs.
Yes.
Do you know any street jokes?
Do I know any street
She
jokes?
can't say them.
Street jokes.
Don't let
Yeah.
her.
Okay, so normally we do a segment here for if you're a patron, again, patreon.com/downside. Grace is going to tell a street joke while we have all our patrons' names scroll across the bottom of the feed.
Wow.
So tell us a street joke.
Okay, so a rabbi, a priest, and an imam go into a bar. And I'm there, and my mom has talked to all of them, and they're all really worried about me. And they think I need to stop drinking, and they're going to give me help.
I've already heard that one.
Oh, okay. How about this one? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
You faggot. Hey!
Let's do plugs. Let's do plugs.
The gray side.
The Grace side.
Freud Marco. Just I guess I fucked that one off.
Anything y'all want to plug? It's coming out not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. September
Yes.
5th.
So our next big show so far on the books. We've got a big show in Chicago in November 5.
November 5th.
We'll see you there in Chicago.
2 months from
Get
today
tickets are
at
on sale
Lincoln
now.
Hall.
It's a big one.
Get tickets at girlgod.co, and check out our podcast, The Girl God Experience.
Yeah, the Girl God Experience is our podcast, and pretty much it's like, what if Grace and I were the ones fully in control of this situation?
So it's
Posted
kind of
this
a
episode where I felt like I was
Yeah.
running the ship.
Yes.
I felt like that blind ship boy. Okay, I'm going to be at the Stress Factory in New Brunswick, September 7th through the 10th. And then Bloomington House of Comedy, September 14th through the 17th. And remember, Los Angeles sold out the first Hollywood Improv show, September 25th. We added another one, September 26th. Get your tickets now. It will sell out. And what a delight to have you both here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you both for having me
Wow.
on your show.
Thank you for respecting my status as co-host.
The Grace side with Freud, Marco,
Grace
Grace
Soresi.
Soresi.
Yeah.
Exactly. Goodbye.
1, 2, 3. Downside. Downside. You're listening to The Downside
The downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.
Tell him, Russell.
Subscribe to The Downside right now.
Where?
Down here. Or here. We don't know, but just do it.
Or also, what else could they do?
They could follow the Patreon. They could subscribe to the Patreon.
I
No! Sorry.
Patreon.com/downside.
Too much pressure.